Once we have created schema for an ingestion API and we have created a data stream which eventually created a data lake and we mapped them with a data model object, now it's the time to test our API. To test our API, we will use API testing platform which is Postman. Salesforce has given pre-configured APIs within Postman which you can go and test. These APIs, after testing, you have to provide to the concerned team so that they can use them and send data within Data 360. So there is a two-step authentication process for ingesting a data within Ingestion API which you have configured within Salesforce Data 360. The first step is you go and you authenticate the Salesforce token, and the second step is you have to use that Salesforce token to authenticate your Salesforce Data 360 instance. Once both authentications are done, you have to go and ingest the API. So to work with Postman, we have to go and log in to Postman API testing platform. This is the Postman API testing platform where I have created my workspace. I'll go to my workspace. Once I go to my workspace, you see I have created a fork for Salesforce Data 360 APIs. If you want to create a fork within your Postman API testing platform for Salesforce Data 360 APIs, you can Google that API details. So you will see Salesforce Data 360 APIs get started URL. You can open that URL. Once you open that URL, you will be see all the APIs related to Salesforce Data 360 available. It also has ingestion API details. I have already created a fork with Salesforce Data 360 APIs. The first step is I have to go and authenticate Salesforce instance. So I will click on this main directory Salesforce Data 360 APIs and I will go to authorization. Once I go to authorization, you have this option available which is get new access token. Click on get new access token, log in with your Salesforce credentials and click on allow. I have already logged in to my Salesforce, so it is directly asking the consent to allow. In case you have not logged in, it will ask you to log in and then you can allow. Once you have authenticated this, click on use token. So now you have obtained a Salesforce instance token. The second step is to go and use the same token to authorize your Data 360 instance. So once you go to this get request complete Postman authentication, you can click on send option. Once you click on send option, you will get a success message and the details. Once you have these details, you can go to Ingestion API, select streaming and insert records. Once you come here to insert records, you see a sample data is already provided and a URL is provided which you have to use to ingest records within your ingestion API. So here what we will do, we have event API and runner profiles. Event API is the ingestion API details you have to replace with your, and runner profile is the object details within the ingestion API you have to replace it with yours. So we will go and find all these details. We'll go to setup and then we go to data cloud setup. Once we go to data cloud setup, once we go to data cloud setup, we have ingestion API. Click on ingestion API. We have this transactions API schema updated. Click on transactions. So you see the connector name is transactions. So we have to copy this name and we have to paste it at the place of event underscore API. This tells which is the schema you have to update, which is the ingestion API schema you have to update. And then you have to provide the object details. Object name is also transactions. We'll copy this and we'll paste it here. And now you have this JSON format in which you have to ingest the data. So this format is not as per our schema. Within our schema, we have these all fields which we have configured. So we have to create this data as per own schema. So we will remove all this and we'll try to create data as per our schema. So you see that I have created a data, actually two data sets. One is having customer ID PW1, product name the customer has purchased is Salesforce Data 360, total bill is 100 rupees and transaction date is this. Similarly, I have other data where customer ID is PW2, product name is Salesforce Marketing Cloud Engagement, total bill is 600 and transaction date is this. Once we are sure our data is correct, we can go and click on send option. Once we click on send option, it says accepted true. That means we have successfully ingested the data within ingestion API. So now to see this data, we have to go to Data Explorer. So we see that within our data lake object, both the records PW1 and PW2 are ingested. We can click on edit columns and we can remove the unnecessary fields and keep only those fields which we have configured within the schema. So the customer ID is PW1. We can validate from here. The customer has purchased Salesforce Data 360 course. The price of the course is 100 and the transaction details are same as we have in our JSON data. The same thing for this other field, other entry. The customer ID is PW2. We have PW2 here. The product name is Salesforce Marketing Cloud Engagement. We have Salesforce Marketing Cloud Engagement. Total bill is 600 and the transaction date. The same thing we can check within the data model object. We can go to data model object and select transactions.